Hello, everyone. Kia ora. Welcome again. For those of you who just arrived, we're here celebrating World Refugee Day. It's a special occasion, and we got amazing speakers with me today. There's amazing young leaders who are so passionate about the work that they do, so passionate about supporting their communities, and today they're going to tell us all about it. So before we go into that, let me talk about the New Zealand National Refugee Youth Council. We are a non-for-profit organization that it's refugee youth-led by young people for young people. We advocate, support, and empower young people of refugee backgrounds to have successful lives in New Zealand. So we're really excited about this panel and the voices of young people, and also excited about this event as well. So thank you everyone for coming. Can I also say that two of the speakers today have just become officially our refugee youth leaders for the Refugee Youth Council. This is a big achievement. We received more than 300 applications and we could only accept 20 people. So I want to say congratulations to William and to Gisney, who recently became some of our youth leaders. So well done to both of you. And Camila will tell you more about it. She's already one of our members and our leaders, so she's done amazingly, so she'll tell you more about it. But I've got, so just in order, I got Camila over here, say hi. I got William over here.
Hello.
Got Gisney.
Hello.
And Roya over here.
Hi.
So I've got these amazing speakers, but let's get to hear from them. So I'm gonna ask them to tell us a little bit about themselves, their refugee journey, and how that has shaped who they are today. So let's start with you, Camila. Tell us about your journey.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Camila. I've been part of the National Refugee Youth Council since last year, and I've been working in my community. I live in Levin, so I've been working with all the refugee young people that are arriving. We have created a project. I will tell you more about it a little bit later, but the project is called Impacto, and we are aiming to help and support all the young refugees because they are just starting the resettlement process, and I'm still in that process as well. So yeah, we're trying to support each other, and we want to just make them know that they are not alone and they have someone that they can ask, and they have a place where they can feel good and safe. So yeah, that's basically what we do.
Thank you, Camila. And I also want to say that we're welcoming Camila from Levin. So she traveled very far away to be here with us. So thank you for joining us. We're so excited to hear different voices and experiences as well. So thanks, Camila. Over to you, William. What's your story? Tell us a bit about the refugee journey and how that has shaped who you are today.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Firstly, I would like to thank everyone here in the room for coming in and supporting us, especially when I'm stepping into a new role, speaking to new people. And thank you, Daniel. Can we give a round of applause to everyone here, please? Woo! Thank you very much. This means a lot to me. But yeah, so my parents, we moved here in 2008, and I was a very young child, so I did not really experience much of their hardship. They experienced more and sacrificed everything to get a better life for me and my siblings. And I grew up here in Lower Hutt as a young kid. I went to kindergarten all the way to high school. But I moved in Porirua to, connect with my close community members. Speaking Burmese and understanding it is completely different to me since I couldn't really speak the language. Even though I may see my own cultural people, I could understand their language, but I cannot really communicate. And the issue is, whenever my family introduced me to new friends, new family members, I can't really say anything. Usually I always say in the background, or I only say hello. That's it. I don't say anything else because to me, I feel very embarrassed to even try to pronounce certain words. And what's more is I try and really connect with other Burmese like people, but the issue is I cannot make any more like any friends from my own culture group. To my New Zealand identity, I can communicate with people. I can make friends because we speak the same language, right? But in the process, I lost my own language and I couldn't read and write, which to me, I'm ashamed of. But one day I hope that I can understand and I can read and write again. And what's more is moving was very tough. My parents, they couldn't speak English as well, and I had to learn everything from scratch, from studying to learning the language, learning the culture in New Zealand. It wasn't easy. And when I tried to translate for my family, I couldn't do it at all. Yeah, my family, they see me just to focus on my New Zealand identity rather than my Burmese identity, because here you need to speak English to communicate. You need to speak English to be able to like take part in programs, to learn, right? But yeah, but over the years, I managed to step up, gain confidence, and I joined a homo club for my cultural people. I could learn, well, I can understand their language, but they couldn't speak English, which helped me by learning them or giving them a sort of support system, right? Support system to be able to like help their parents in return, because their parents, they couldn't speak English themselves too. That's why they're there. And I want to make a difference to my own community and to myself. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, William, for reflecting in that. And I think this is the story of many of our young people who come here very young, and then you feel that in between two worlds, you feel that you don't belong so much in your own community, and then you don't belong so much in your own with your new community. So it's tricky, but I'm really what I take from William's story is that he just kept pushing and kept trying and learning and adapting and getting outside his comfort zone. And one of those things is having him here today, just speaking to all of you. So thank you so much for that, William. Before we move on, I also have another of our newly appointed youth leaders who is not in the panel, but is here over there, Jenny. Jenny just wanted to say hi, one of our new youth leaders. And she's been amazingly helping us with the food today. So thank you so much, Jenny. Highly appreciated. Thanks a lot. So now moving to you, Gisney. Maybe tell us a little bit about, when did you come to New Zealand, your journey as a refugee, and how that has shaped who you are today. And then we can move to the other main question later.
Yes, of course. So, kia ora, ko Gisney toku ingoa, ko Colombia ho. Hola, I'm from Colombia. And my journey as a refugee really started when I was 7 years old. My parents had already become refugees of the country I was born in. And so, when I was 7 years old, we got the call that we were lucky enough to come to a third country, which was a great blessing and opportunity to us. And it all started then, but I like to think that my journey and kind of like my story is borrowed because it was really my parents who had to upfront the situation and what we were going through back in Ecuador. And so when I was 7 years old, we got the call, we got the opportunity to come to New Zealand. And at the end of the day, I was just a 7-year-old girl, happy and excited to get on a plane. Somewhere I had no idea where we were going, but it was really exciting to me. Not realizing that it was going to be a really hard thing for my parents and for us, not knowing the language, not knowing where we were coming, not knowing any of the history of the country. When we arrived, I had many questions. I wondered why we had to leave. I wondered why it was so hard for us. I wondered why my parents had to struggle so much. And so I always grew up with those questions. until I started to realize by myself the difference. I started to realize what refugee was. And it wasn't until I was in school, in primary, when I started to realize what it really was, what it really meant. And I was lucky enough to have some of my friends and students from the school being refugee too, and coming from refugee backgrounds. And it was just the struggle that really connected to me. And that was what shaped me to be who I am today. Because I could see everyone struggling, as I was struggling myself. I could see my parents struggling. I could see other people in my community struggling. And it was really hard to watch. It was something that I wasn't prepared for as being 7-year-old. But it got me to be strong for them. And it got me to stand up for those people. And it got me to be there for them when they needed me. And I was able to be there for many of the kids in the community that came from different backgrounds. We couldn't understand each other, but I still helped them as much as I could, and I was there for them. And I always stood up for Refugee Week in my school, always told them, it's Refugee Week. Please, can we have something for us? Please, can we just acknowledge that we are coming from refugee backgrounds and that we don't understand, we don't have the language, and we're trying. And it's really hard for us, so please, let's have a bit more communication and a bit more of help. And that has really shaped me to be who I am today. And I'm lucky now to be part of the New Zealand National Refugee Youth Council, which is something that I've always wished for because it has been kind of something that I've always loved to do ever since I was 7 years old. And yes, so now I've grown up and everything, and I've tried to help as much as I can in my community, helping with translating with different families and the people that are vulnerable. And yeah, just try to help. Even in Afghani community, I've tried to help many women that feel vulnerable, and I've just been there for them. Even if I can't speak the language, even if I'm not able to translate how I wish I could, but I try to be there for them in the situations where they feel vulnerable. And yeah, my journey, this is what my journey has been and how I've shaped myself to be who I am today and to stand up for those that needed me.
Wow, thank you, Jasnay. Wow, I think it's all that about transforming, that the pain into resilience and like transforming that to support others who have been in that situation. And I really admire that from you and how passionate you are to make change. So that's awesome. And you are also, your family's here in the Hutt, right? And you were you are growing up here and going to school here as well. And so Lower Hutt is your home, right?
My home, yes.
Nice. It's great to have you in your local library.
Yes.
So can I pass it now to Roya? And it's a very similar question on your refugee background, your journey to Aotearoa, and how has that shaped who you are today?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and happy Refugee Day. I came from Afghanistan 2019 when I was 13. If I be honest, I didn't understand what was refugee and like. But I think I shaped through learning a lot. And then it was such a big struggle for me because understanding like education system and everything. But luckily I was year 9, so like I had a lot of year for me to decide what I wanted to do. And currently I'm studying law and international relations at Victoria University. And I'm also a member of the voiceofaroha. And I'm not very active because I was very focusing on my education journey. But I think it was a big struggle, learning language, adapting to new culture, and like completely different environment. And I think it's such a big shock. I think the hardest part was like because I didn't speak English, but back in the days, and like when the teacher during PE, they would give us instruction about like how to do things, and I was just looking at them and laughing because I didn't understand what was going on. And especially sometimes in English class, when we had like assignments and stuff, so I didn't understand what was going on and like what's the assignment, what's credit. So I just had to keep asking questions and questions about like, oh, how to do this, and sometimes like I completely messed up the whole assignment. But I think I learned a lot, And I was just pushing myself because even though I didn't understand a lot, and when I was 16, I tried to apply for youth parliament, and I got shortlisted for that. But because I was very new to the culture and I didn't understand what's the focus was that you have to like understand like what Kiwis are dealing with, but I didn't understand, so I would just keep talking about like the struggle that girls are facing in Afghanistan, like were pursuing education. So I would just keep talking about that, but I didn't get it. But I emailed Ibrahim Umar. I was like, can I please come and do volunteer here? So that's why I worked at Parliament a little bit, and that's how like it shaped my journey and myself. And that's how I get to like politics and like law and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow,
you.
Roya, we need to watch out for you in Parliament. Now, you got a vote already, and it's so awesome that you keep pushing and knocking at doors, you know, and going to Ibrahim and saying, hey, where is my place? I need to have a say. And I think that's really inspiring to so many other young people that are sitting here today, that you have to knock at doors, you have to gain opportunities, and it's awesome to hear your journey and your story. So thank you so much.
I think it's even it's embarrassing sometimes. You're like, it's embarrassing. I can't speak English. Like, what am I going to do? But then just push myself. Like, just do it. Just go knock on every door and whatever. What's going to say? Just no. That's it. Just move to the next one.
Yeah, that's a very good advice for all of us. Just keep knocking at those doors, and what's the worst that could happen? They just say no, right? Thank you so much for that. So now we move back to you, Gisney. And I've got a question about, you said you came here when you were young, and your parents are from Colombia, but you were born in Ecuador. So I want to know about identity, and how do you feel, where's your sense of identity, especially how do you feel, where do you belong, also being a young person of a refugee background? And any tips for any young people here in the room that might be struggling with that identity or not knowing where they belong?
Yeah, so, well, first of all, I did struggle a lot with identity for many years throughout basically my whole childhood. It was really hard for me because I was born in Ecuador, and it's a lot different, but my parents and my whole family is Colombian. And I always liked to embrace my Colombian culture. And I always wanted to feel Colombian. I always felt like I needed to feel Colombian, even if I was born in Ecuador. And every time someone asked me, where are you from? I say Colombia, because it's what I grew up with. It's what really taught me to be the person I am today. And I embrace it because it is my parents' culture. It is my parents' identity. And yes, I was born in Ecuador, and we lived there throughout some time, but funny enough, I only remember Colombia because we went back right before we came to New Zealand for like 6 months, and I have a bit more core memories of Colombia than Ecuador, but it has been a real struggle, especially then coming as a 7-year-old to New Zealand and having to learn the whole new language, and then also incorporating a little bit of Maori into my kind of languages. It was really interesting, and I loved it because I've always loved to embrace indigenous cultures, but it was really hard. It was really hard for me to take so much in all at once as a 7-year-old. And I guess also being a refugee was another struggle to me because it was just the lack of education in the other side of basically like refugees here and then privileged people here. And it was really hard. It was really hard to be able to feel like I belonged, to have that sense of belonging because of how much it was. I couldn't be in the middle. I had to be either I'm a refugee or I ignored the fact that I'm a refugee and I tried to act like I'm from New Zealand. And that was really, really hard for me, and that was really tough because it's not who I am. I love to embrace the fact that I am a former refugee and that it was because my parents gave it all for me to be here today where I am, sitting right here. So I decided later on that I was just going to ignore the fact or whatever made me different, and I was going to embrace that difference. I was going to embrace that I am Ecuadorian Colombian, that I came to New Zealand, that I learned English, and that I am a former refugee of New Zealand. And that really did shape me as a person, and I felt I feel really privileged and really proud of myself for being able to embrace what I have and what I was given in life. And yeah, it is a big struggle. It is a very big struggle, and it is really hard to be able to feel like you belong in a place where other people won't make you feel like you belong. But honestly, I made my own society. I made my own identity, and I continue to go through. And I love to embrace my culture. And as you can see, I'm wearing my Colombian cultural dance for my bullerengue that we're going to be performing later on today. But I will still continue to say that I was born in Ecuador, but I am Colombian. And a tip for our young youth people that are growing up is to embrace the difference. It doesn't matter where you're from. What matters is that you embrace everything that is given to you. Embrace that you're a refugee. Embrace where you're from, where your parents are from. Just identify yourself as whatever you feel like you are from. And whatever you feel is yours, just grab it on and hold it, because it's really special. And a lot of people wish you had what you they had what you have right now. So yeah.
Wow. A big round of applause to Gisney. And I just wanted to say it's a journey, right, Gisney? And I think it's just a journey of roller coasters, ups and downs.
Yeah.
It's never easy, but I really, really admire how you just so proudly say, you know, your identity and who you are. You were born in Colombia. Sorry, your parents are from Colombia. You were born in Ecuador,
Yes.
and you are a refugee background person, you know. And I think that makes you really strong. For a long time, I struggled trying to get rid of this accent, you know. I didn't want to feel like an outsider. And I think this is a thing that we all feel. We're feeling like an outsider, and I worked really hard. And just the same as you just said, I came to realize that this makes me unique and makes me who we are. And that's powerful, right?
Yes.
Being us and be unique. And so thank you so much for sharing that
Thank you.
beautiful tip. Thanks.
Thank you.
So now going back to William. And William, you shared with us a little bit about your own journey of identity as well, a bit earlier today. And you talked about not being able to speak the language. And I'm wondering, where are you at the moment? What's your journey like at this stage, balancing those two worlds, the New Zealand culture, your own culture? Because I know you've tried really hard, and you've been doing so many things to reconnect. And so maybe tell us a little bit about that. And yeah, just keen to hear that balance. Where do you find that balance?
Currently, right now, I feel like I'm reconnecting with my heritage as well as the refugee background. It took me quite a long time, like really long. When I first started out, I didn't even know who I was. I threw my culture away. I didn't even want to like wear my own culture clothing. I didn't want to eat my own cultural food, because when I was at school, my parents, they would make Burmese food for me to take. And whenever I brought it to school, people there would make fun of me. They will say that the food smells, the food stinks, and that was absolutely crazy. But over time, I embraced my culture. I embraced my accent as well, since when you speak a certain word, you need to be able to pronounce it. I wasn't able to pronounce it. I don't even know how to pronounce certain words. I need help for that. But I found people who are willing to help me out and who are willing to help me find my own identity, my own cultural heritage. And most importantly, I know how to connect with my New Zealand identity as well. Because as a New Zealander, you need to speak English. If you want a job, if you want to support your family, you need to know how to read and write. And because of that, it was a challenge, but it was a struggle, yeah. But at the end of the day, please do not throw away your cultural heritage. Do not throw it away. Keep it with you, because that's who you are. If you think that you're not good or you want to be this particular ethnicity, no, you're not. You are who you are. You came to New Zealand. Your parents sacrificed everything, so in return, just remember your roots. Thank you.
Wow, powerful. I hope someone was recording that. I think this has been recorded because that was so powerful. Those words, don't throw away your culture, don't throw away your who you are. And I think that's a challenge. And if you're here today listening to us, I think something that I want you to take away is that embrace the difference. Try something new. For so long, all of us are always reminded that we're an outsider. You go to the shop, you go to this place, the first thing they ask you, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? And when you ask this 12, 20 times a day, it's tiring. And so it makes you feel like you don't belong here, even though you have a black New Zealand passport. And it's very tricky because it wants you to, it makes you try to give up your own culture and try to be different, to try to fit in. So let's accept those differences. I also liked what you said about having people willing to support you and help you. And I just see in the front row, see Mary here, who is from my mom's local church and the church where we went to when we first arrived. And I think that's really important, having that network of support and people around you, and that the church really helped Mom and helped us to also find a place of belonging. So always go a mile to help others. So thanks, Mary, for being here and for still supporting my mother as well. So now let's go to Roya and let's talk about education. You talk about going to university. You talk about the challenges going to school and to university. So I'm really interested about your advice or your knowledge about what can we do better to support refugee youth in accessing education and other services. And could you share, I know you already told us a little bit, but your journey from arriving here to now being at university.
I got a lot of things to say, so let me put out my MacBook. The question was that, but I was thinking of the question like yesterday, like the whole night. But then I was like, let me just write it myself. I think, okay, it's a big struggle, especially with the people that came in like year 13 or year 12. Like you don't know the credits, you don't know how does the academic system work. So like I was lucky enough to be here at year 9 and like just make my way. And I think it's hard, but I think just push yourself, even if you feel like I can't do this, it's hard, like it's embarrassing, like I don't speak English properly, my accent is like this, just do it. And I was thinking, I'm very passionate about education because I was thinking all the way since the Taliban came in and take control of Afghanistan about like how girls are struggling to go to school, and like I was trying to make a way to help them, but then unfortunately it was not successful. But inshallah, one day when I get my degree, I think education is already accessible in New Zealand, so it's not like it's completely banned. So there are some ways that can help the refugees to get better education. I think some of the ways are like providing language support, which I think there is free. Some of them are from there. Providing free language course that they can, maybe the foundation of the language, maybe that they can start like at least reading and writing like a very low level. And mentorship programs. I think it's a very, very crucial, because when you came here, like you have no idea what's going on and like you're completely lost. So I think mentorship program, that someone that can like mentor someone and like just look at them, how are they going to grow up, and ask them questions if they need any help. Counseling service, I think mental health is very, very important, especially with the people who are refugees. So naturally, we've been through a lot of traumas, and like, so yeah, I think most of them are stuck to our minds till now, and I think it's gonna stuck to our mind till we die or something. But counseling program for like youths is very crucial to help them adjust to new environment, make friends, and like just make through life. maybe scholarship programs. Education is very, very expensive, and I think when someone came here new, they don't have that much money. So I think scholarship programs and like financial aid is very, very helpful for someone to like motivate them and like just push them. Like career guidance, maybe like help them to decide what they want to do, and like this kind of stuff. Community events, like to help them get through the community and stuff. Yeah. That's it.
Wonderful, amazing. Thank you so much for that. And I think if you're here and if you work in this space of education, I hope you take some of those tips there. And I think there's a big opportunity for us to do better, in that space, especially when, as you say, when young people arrive here and you're new and you have to support your parents and you have to deal with so many things.
Interpreting, like you have to big documents, like you don't even know English, and then like you have to interpret some of like very, very big legal documents. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like I'm new here too.
Exactly, and you have to translate, you have to go to the doctor, you have to go to working income, while also worrying about your identity and your education and everything. So if someone helps us and helps our young people with education, with scholarships, with advice, that takes a huge burden from us. And so it's those tips I think are really important, and I'm really happy to also see what we can do as on the Refugee Youth Council, to be more advocates on that education side.
Yeah.
So
I think maybe promoting, because when someone came here, they 100% like when I came here, I didn't know what's going on in the community. Like I had to do it myself and like do research, and like some of the people that it was I think Ignite Sport, they were pushing me a lot. So I think promoting is a big thing. Like you guys should promote all of your events that is going to happen, and like all of the things that you're offering to the schools and like maybe church, mosques, youth community thing that I think is gonna help them a lot. So yeah, I think.
Thank you so much. And I think now that you talk about promotion, I think it's a good timing to do some promotion. We have some flyers at the back of the table. So if you want to know about activities of the Refugee Youth Council, if you want to join our activities, fun activities, educational activities, please, we need your contact details to let you know what's happening. So I've got a flyer there. You can scan the QR code. If anyone remembers COVID-19 in the past, we had to scan QR codes. So now you'll remember how to use them. And get in touch with us. Keep in touch with us. Follow us on social media so we can you can join our events.
And also follow us, voiceofaroha. Instagram, every social media. Yeah, I gotta promote that too.
So we will be by the door checking if you followed us or not. Okay. So before you leave, you need to show us your phone and see if you liked us on Instagram or Facebook or all the socials. Okay. So now over to Camila, and I just wanted to hear your journey, Camila, of being a youth leader. What made you stand up for your community? I know you haven't been here in New Zealand for a long time, so I really want to highlight that even though you've been such a short time, you're already been a youth leader. You're already supporting your community. So tell us a little bit about that, especially in Levin, being such a small region. What work have you done with the Refugee Youth Council there? And what tips would you give here to young people who want to take on those leadership opportunities?
Okay, yes, Daniel said I came to New Zealand on September of 2022, so I've been here for almost 2 years now. I would say my principal motivation to apply for the Refugee Youth Council were my brothers. When we came to New Zealand, I could speak English, but they couldn't. So I could see them struggling with socializing and education and, making friends. So I wanted to learn what I could do because I already knew more people were coming. So I wanted to learn a way to help them, a way to support them. Because, I felt that I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. What was a good way to support the other people. So yeah, that's why I became a member of the Refugee Council. What was the other question? Sorry.
Maybe tell us a little bit about what you have done there in Levine and what does that program look like? And if someone wants to take on leadership, what would you advise to them?
Okay, so me, another girl who is also part of the Refugee Council, and Daniel, them both helped me to create Impacto. So yeah, as I told you, Impacto is basically like our object is to support, to give them a space for them to speak in their own language, for them to feel comfortable with other people, for them to feel connected with their culture as well. So yeah, we created Impacto last year. We have meetings every 2 weeks. So before that, we have to create a schedule of the activities we're gonna do. So they are usually activities we consider are gonna benefit them, or activities that they ask, or like they would like us to do. And yeah, so we have meetings every 2 weeks. These meetings are always different. We have had mental health talks. We had education talks because, yeah, the most of them don't speak English, so they didn't understand what was she was saying. They didn't understand how credits work and how they could go to uni, or yeah, if they even pass or not the year. So we wanted to explain them. We also have lots of fun activities because we think it's very important because Lovin is quite small and there's not much to do. So we think it's very important to give them some variety, like some different things to do, some different things to try. Because yeah, some of them have skills they don't even know. So it's good to navigate through all those skills. And yeah, I remember the other question. Okay.
Tips you would give to young people
Tips,
wanting
sorry.
to...
And I was having a look at some tips from my personal experience, and also I did some research. And okay, I think the first thing is to find something that you're passionate about. So if you really find something that you're interested in, and you really feel that you're willing to work on that, I think that would make everything easier. So yeah, it can be something from your personal experience, or something that you have seen your family gone through, or yeah, something that you really care. The second one would be be informed about that. So I think if you are gonna defend something, if you are gonna talk about something, you have to know what you're talking about. So yeah, if you really want to start to create, to impact in your community in a positive way, you have to be informed about what is going on with this, like what kind of actions have been going on, and to create something new to impact in a positive way. Also, I think it's very important because we always want, when we think about changes in our community, we imagine something very big, but it's honestly the first things you're gonna do are gonna be things very small, but it's also something good. It doesn't have to be something that changes everyone's life. It can be, if you just help one people, that's something very good, and that's a beginning, which is the hardest part, actually. I would say also be surrounded of people that are passionate for the same thing as you, to have a social network that support you is very good. I've always think that if I wouldn't have my other teammate and Daniel, I wouldn't have been able to do Impacto because there was so much work, and also it's always good to hear other people's ideas because that lets you grow and learn more. So yeah, and as they were saying, the worst thing people can say is no. I think we are like I'm very scared of rejection. I was, and yeah. So I think we have to learn to accept that, and even if they say no, even if they say yes, like take everything as a learning, because everything make us improve and make us I don't know, yeah, improve, and we are gonna start to have more experience, and at the end we're gonna do something that we love and in a good way, and because we are gonna know that we worked so hard for that. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Camila. I really appreciate that. I want to say that Camila has been very humble here, and she's talking about her team, but she's done amazing work by herself, been here for such a short time in Levin, that is a small, newly established resettlement location, but she has achieved so much there throughout her leadership. She has a group of young people that get together fortnightly, do so many activities, find a place of belonging. And this is what we were talking here before. What we're doing in Levin is trying to help these young people to find that place of belonging. So we share our stories, these young people don't feel that. So thank you so much, Camila, for all the awesome work you do. We're so proud of you. So now, very briefly, we got a couple of minutes for some questions. So do we have any questions from the audience? Don't be shy. We can collect a couple of questions. You can ask us anything from very tough questions to what's our favorite food or anything. Ask us anything. You got a question, you Beth? Yes. Do you want the mic or you can? Okay, speak louder. I know people are distracted by the kiddies who are going up, but it's our future generation, so that's good. I hope they can listen to us as well.
Hello there. I would like to, first of all, what an amazing conversation that has been going on today. I feel very proud of every single one of you, and also thanking to voiceofaroha and the Refugee Youth Council for this space. I don't think this has been done before, how it should be, so I'm very grateful for this amazing space. And I would like to ask Disney if she would like to tell us a little bit more about her cultural dress as well, because I think that not a lot of people know, and the way she describes the movement of the dress, and I've heard her before, just makes us very proud of who we are, and I know she enjoys talking about it more, so I would love to hear a little bit more about that, if that's okay.
Yes, of course. So, first of all, Colombia is very diverse, and we have a lot. So, there is a lot, but this is really what the cultural comes from, because this is from kind of the coast side. And this is called puya in Apoyera. And when we do the movements with this very long skirt, if I can stand up, I'll show. And it is a pretty big skirt. Thank you. And if we open it like this represents basically we as women, this is what encourages us to feel powerful, to feel beautiful, and to kind of flirt with the man, because that's the way it dance. So we dance with the partner, and it kind of mimics the feathers of birds. So we dance. This is one of the many cultural dresses that we have, and this only represents one of the regions, because we have many different things. I don't know if you guys have heard of salsa, and many other things. So yes, this is what we representate, and this is from the coast side, like I said, and we dance cumbias with this. We dance bullerengues, it's what I'll be dancing today with my partner Danilo. And that's our cultural hat too. And yeah, so this is what we dance, and this is what we use to dance, but we have many other cultural aspects. And sadly, we are not able to get that here in New Zealand. It would be beautiful to show you guys everything that we have to give as Colombian people, and as our culture, we have so much. And we're such happy people, and we love to embrace everything that we're given. But this is what we call pollera, and we mimic kind of the birds of the feather and what it looks like when they're dancing to flirt. It kind of is the other way around because it's the man flirting to the woman, but we flirt to the man. And yeah, this is what it really is.
Who made it?
My sister Jibab, handmade by her.
Now we see what she was asking.
Yes, handmade by her.
Awesome. One more question. 1, 2.
Don't be shy. Come
I
on.
see one there. Kara? Oh, do we get her a mic? Voiceofaroha, you're good with mics. Get her a mic.
Kia ora koutou, and thank you so much for all that. My question is towards the future, and I'm very keen to hear your vision for Aotearoa when you have gray hair like I do.
Anyone wants to answer the question? Future focused. What do you see for the future? Rolia?
First of all, I would like to graduate first, and then I want to work. A lot of my thinking is about like Afghanistan and like the education there, but I think I want to establish a community that can maybe help girls' education and make it easy for them. But for New Zealand, I haven't think of it. I'm sorry because all of my brain is in Afghanistan. But something when I graduate, maybe something I'll just think of it. Sorry.
No, and I think we'll be watching this space for you as well. I see lots of work in Parliament and all of that. So yeah, we'll be watching. Anyone else wants to add?
Oh, you go first.
Okay. I would say for the future, I would like to see more young people working for their communities. As I was talking about this in the parliament, but young people has lots of energy, lots of ideas, and yeah, they really want to see a change. It's just sometimes they don't know how to do it. They don't know that there's a refugee youth council. So yeah, I would see them working for a better future, working for a community, and working for working for their goals and what they want this country to become. Yeah.
Thank you, Camila. William?
Firstly, this is to the young people. Please finish your education. Don't drop out. Please finish it, okay? Once you gain your education, then you can think about work. And secondly, my goal would be to be an MP someday. I want to be Thank you everyone. I want to be an example that, yes, I came from a refugee background, but that doesn't stop me from achieving my dreams.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
I'm gonna vote for you. It's okay.
You vote for each other. Thank you so much, William. How awesome was that? And I think great message. William is giving us great sound bites of voiceofaroha, so keep those sound bites for Instagram Reels, okay? Because it's giving us great. Okay, Gisney, do you have anything to add to that, or?
Well, the only thing I can really say is that I really love to give opportunities to the people that need it and will appreciate it. And I love to be able to educate people. And with everything that's happening at the moment, I've actually started to do a small group in my school to educate about war, to educate about what's going on around the world. So we have a little bit of a more open mind to what's going on around, and to also want to embrace what we're given and the cultures and everything. And so that's why yesterday with my sister Jibeth, I don't know where she is, I invited her to come for an assembly where we would educate the girls on Refugee World Week. And so yeah, this is what I would love for New Zealand and Aotearoa to keep embracing. The different cultures, the different diversity, the different cultural foods. It's amazing to see how much there is around, but for us to also educate ourselves on Aotearoa, to want to embrace the Maori culture, to want to learn how to introduce yourself in Maori and in Te Reo Maori, and be able to just, get a little bit about Aotearoa too, not just us educating them, but also them educating us. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that it's a beautiful way of putting it about us also learning about Te Ao Māori and Te Reo Māori. And I think it's also, in a way, while we learn, it also gets us closer to our own culture, isn't it? Like we learn more from Te Ao Māori, and we realize there's lots of similarities as well. And so thank you for that advice, and thank you for that great question. And thank you to Wellington Community Fund as well for all the support as well.
Yes.
Last question we got.
Kia ora koutou katoa. My name is Hong. I'm from Asian Family Services. So thank you, Roya. You just mentioned the mental health. I think it's a big topic, and we care our young people's mental health. And my organization is a professional mental health support services provider. So I want to ask, our young guests here, how the government, how the community, and how the service providers can do anything and to enhance our young people's mental health, especially for our, young people from refugee background. And I'm looking forward to your thoughts, and we hope in the future we can do something together.
Very, very good question. It's very important. Thank you for asking. Who wants to go first?
Not me.
No, you? Mental health.
Well, I guess I'll start first. So when I was starting out, mental health is pretty much an important thing. I suppose a lot please ask for help, okay? Help is what you need. You can't do things by yourself. If you feel like you're alone, no, you're not. There are people who are willing to support you and who are willing to help you develop as a person as well. Especially you young people. You guys need it the most. You guys need help. Look at me. I never imagined that I'll even go to university. It was like a dream to me because I gained support and help from other people, even though I don't want to. I did it. Yeah, that's my question. Hopefully that answers it.
Thank you, William. That's great, great, great insights. Asking for help and support because the support is out there. And I just wanted to highlight Vibe, who is over there. Vibe, please. And Vibe is it's a youth op shop, they call them. But it's where you can find, for young people, you can find GPs, mental health support. This is free. They have obviously an age requirement, but you can talk more about Vibe. They do awesome things and lots of resources there. Any final comments, mental health?
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think as a refugee coming here with no knowledge of English language and studying law is like hell. So I think it's a big part of my life. And if I'm going to be honest with you guys, law makes me cry every day. And I think it's so hard to access to mental health because it's so booked. Whenever you want to book an appointment with a counselor or at the university, it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks, and it gets worse. So I think creating more accessible things, I think would be very, very helpful. Something like on social media even, not you don't have to be physically available to get the help you need. I think something like on social media, because nowadays everyone is youth, students, they're very active on social media. So something like a group, a page, something that promotes or counsel you, it's I think very, very helpful. And we will thank you so much.
Thank you. That's a very great question, and I think it's something that a lot of young people face, that need of mental health, and I think this is why it's important to have organizations that work in that space, that we can all work together. Just any final thoughts before we move on?
Yes, over here. Well, speaking on personal experiences, I did struggle a lot with mental health due to circumstances in feeling discriminated in school environments and things like that. So it has been really hard for me, and I did kind of get help from different organizations at some point when I asked for it, but it was really hard. It was not that accessible, and it wasn't that inclusive either. And I know a lot of people and young youth from my community that struggle with those type of things, and it's really, really hard to find people that can help you, especially because of the language barriers. So language barriers are really, really hard, and even if we're youth, and even if we're told, oh yeah, you're young and you can learn English really fast, it doesn't work that way, and it's really hard because we as youth are put on, like, our shoulders, we carry that we need to learn quickly, that we need to do it now, because otherwise you cannot survive. You cannot continue with your life, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you can't help your parents, and you can't help yourself either. So I have met a lot of youth people and a lot of young kids that are going and struggling a lot, but they don't have the language, or they don't feel comfortable enough to be able to seek for help. And like William said, you need to ask for help. You need to be able to understand that you need help so that people can help you. But we need a bit more of support in the helpline. We need a bit more of inclusivity wide, because there's a lot of different cultures and communities, and kids are really struggling because, like we said over here, everything's social media now at this point. And if we don't teach our youth how to use social media a good way and in a positive way, then it can really go downhill. And like in my personal experience, social media was used against me. So I was going through a lot because they were using social media to go towards me. And that was really, really hard. So if we're actually able to teach not just refugees, also people and youth itself, is really, really important to let them know how inclusive we need to be and how respectful we need to be about any topic. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Isnay. I think that's very important, especially on the online world, and we forget that there's a whole world in itself, you know, and also for us engaging with the young people and talking about those issues, how can we use social media to also get to the young people and get in touch with them. Look, I think it's been an amazing time with this panel. We've really enjoyed our conversations here. These are amazing young leaders, and I just wanted to highlight that see what happens when you give the space to young people and young leaders. So much awesome work is going on, so much experience, so much knowledge. What a journey these young people have been. So I really encourage you to, at the end of the event, talk to them, have their contact details, book them for any speaking events, pay them some koha, support them, because these young people are amazing. If you have an opportunity for them, give it to them, because they're here to take that. So a big round of applause to all of our panelists.